Welcome to the Annie's Takeout at Home interview. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves, name, age, where you're from.
My name is Collin, and I am from the suburbs of Chicago. And
How old are you,
what was
buddy?
the third one?
Your age.
I'm 24.
Very good. Collin Saleka McCormick is my name. And
I'm Bell.
yeah.
I messed that up, my bad.
25, born in Chicago, raised in Geneva.
Awesome. And what got you guys into music?
Nirvana.
Nirvana?
Nirvana live at Reading 1992. Yeah. My parents got me like a DVD when I was a kid, and I watched it, and I was into music. And I thought to myself, I'm going to meet somebody named Collin one day, and we're going to be in a band, and we're going to be really good. I'm waiting for that last
Yeah,
part to come
the rest
true,
remains to be
yeah.
seen. But, for me, well, my first memory of being alive, coming online as it were, was being in the backseat of my mom's car, hearing the song "Mad Season" by Matchbox 20, and there was just something about his voice and the way he was what he was singing about, because the hook of the song is "I feel stupid," and I, as a kid, for some reason, maybe I felt stupid as a kid, but I was like, yeah, I resonate with that. So I just knew, literally my first memory of being alive was I want to be a singer, and everything else in my life has just been trying to get me closer to that goal. But the one band that really flipped everything for me was, I would say Nirvana was the first awakening that got me away from the music my parents listened to. But Fall Out Boy was the one that really changed my life. I wouldn't be anywhere near the same songwriter, music listener, fashion, all of it. Fall Out Boy was the band that really changed the way I saw music.
I would agree with that. Also, Collin was the person who made me think Fall Out Boy was cool again. I liked them in elementary school, then got into punk music and thought they were lame because they had choruses. And then you showed me some songs and I was like, oh, this is really good.
That happened in the 2000s. People don't talk about that,
Yeah.
but Fall Out Boy was
Became
really
uncool.
huge, and then it became uncool to like Fall Out Boy. So I did listen to them.
And then we stuck it out.
I didn't for a couple years until I got my first girlfriend, and she showed me a Fall Out Boy song, and that was, your first girlfriend showing you Fall Out Boy is that's how you fall in love with Fall Out Boy for sure.
So all of our band's success is due to his first girlfriend.
Yeah.
And speaking of Fall Out Boy, what's your guys' favorite Fall Out Boy song? Personally, mine is "My Heart Is the Worst Kind of Weapon."
That's a great
good
choice. Yeah. I think
I want to give it.
the one that always comes to my head first, because I have a lot of profound experiences with it, is "Don't You Know Who I Think I Am." I just and that outro just kills me every time.
I'm gonna say "Coffee's for Closers."
Yes.
That's one of my.
That's a good one.
That album is my favorite, but I think that's one of my favorites on the album.
Awesome. And how did you guys come up with the name Annie's Takeout?
Well, the way we use it now is, so we have this other project called the Darcy Problems, and that's sort of while it is a band, it's an experimental project, and it has a lot of multimedia stuff incorporated into it, and so to put it simply, this separate band, the Darcy Problems, has its own world. We're writing stories up to hopefully, whether it be a comic book or whatever. So we have these short stories, and Annie's Takeout is a place within that universe. So that's kind of where we got it.
Awesome. What's your guys' favorite song that you guys have made? For Annie's Takeout, I should specify.
Yeah.
I think Uh-Oh is definitely up there, and maybe Sugar Cookies.
I think M33, which we just played today, might be my favorite, but I also Oh Wow was the first song that I wrote that I was really this is what I want to make, where before then the songs I was writing, while good, I was still trying to figure out how to tell the story, and Oh Wow was the first song that I really felt like I did myself justice on that. So Oh Wow has a special place in my heart. I think M33 is the best song, but Sugar Cookies is probably the most fun.
Awesome.
And I'm going to take a deep dive here and also say October is one of my favorites.
I love October.
The first time we played that song is it hasn't changed since. we jammed it out of the blue, and it stayed like almost verbatim the same, almost down to the lyrics.
It did.
Yeah.
It did change
And
lyrics.
so like even when we play it to this day, I think it's still the same and it's really cool. But I like starting that song really fast and watching him try to keep up.
Yeah, that was tough to sing. All right, this one's called M33. My regrets, and I'll leave you in my nightstand. I'm saving cigarettes for when I finally feel that this moment is fleeting. I wanted to fear this, but rather believed it. I'm right every time. I just don't feel a thing in these bloodshot eyes. I got up, needed a downer. The friction in my head was starting forest fires, but nobody can hear a thing outside of my head. So that's just sometimes I wish I was running inside out again in the presence of the thing is my only friend. In a cornfield far away from the nighttime breeze and the prairie slowly carried me. But now, like, what the hell has happened since then? Through gardens, lost in time, just to find some straight line in my head. Till at the end, nothing was cleared up, but I had a little more tar in my lungs. This night is regretting not going out. Daylight already. Something tells me I should just go get sleep.
What's your guys' favorite venue?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would have to.
We
go
love
with-
book club.
Right, but I would say book club or concept.
I love Concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love book club and concept. We love playing Sub T too. That's always been
Yeah.
a dream come true. We used to live down the street from Sub T, and the fact that we've played it like multiple times is a huge thing for my brain. So it's like awesome.
Yeah.
And I just love the crowds that come to Sub T.
Yeah, definitely.
What city do you guys wish to perform at?
That's a good question.
New York.
Yeah, definitely.
New
I
York.
kind of want to like think of an oddball one. Maybe like San Francisco or something. I really want to go to like a middle of nowhere place. Like I'd love to play a show in Wyoming to like 2 people just for the story. But yeah, I'd say maybe like the big places: San Francisco, New York, something like that.
All
We'll
right.
get a residency in Vegas. That's what
Yeah, I mean, if we're shooting for the stars, then I would say like Japan, Tokyo, or something like that. But if we're keeping it like national, yeah, I'll go with San Francisco.
Awesome. And do you guys' parents support and or listen to your guys' music?
That's a good one.
That's a
Your
great
mom
question.
definitely.
My mom
supports
has
us.
no choice but to listen. We practiced at our house for many years. Even when I wasn't living there, we would go back and just practice at her house. That being said, I don't think she streams us on Spotify, but she's definitely really supportive. Yeah, she's definitely like. I mean, they bought me drum sets when I was a kid and always supported it and signed me up for drums in the first place. So yeah, I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, my family's been supportive the whole time. I think like they weren't sure how far I was gonna take it, and now they're like, oh shit, he's actually, because like ever since I was a kid, like I told you, I've always known that I wanted to be a singer.
Since Mad Season.
Since Mad Season, Matchbox 20, 1997. I knew that, I think they just have always thought that it was just like a kid dream, and the fact that I keep doing it, they're like, oh shit, he's actually doing it. But they support me, they believe in it, they like it.
I think some of my family wished it was still a kid dream.
Yeah,
sure.
They absolutely do. But yeah, they like the music. They don't like the screaming though, but that's kind of why we do it.
My mom does often ask what he's so upset about.
That's everything.
All right, and can you guys introduce your solo projects?
Mine's called Coffee No Breakfast. We both write and do everything for our solo projects, so I do all that, and it's basically just it's me kind of going at two different sides of it. I go at the coffee side, which is kind of chiller with some programmed drums and acoustics and cool stuff like that. And then the No Breakfast side is like heavier. I'd say I yell more than I scream, but it's like heavier punk stuff like that, and it's just whatever I want it to be.
Yeah, so mine is Diary of an Unknown Aviator, but I have like a ton of random side projects on Bandcamp and stuff, but Diary is what makes it different than my other random projects is I use Diary as quite literally a diary. I keep the albums to 10, I try to max them out at 10 songs each and do snapshots of what's going on in my life, but what I like writing with Diary for is I don't do, like, I try to make sure that I don't follow rules, you know, like I might put one drum kit right next to another drum kit where you would never see that on like an actual recording because it just doesn't make practical sense. So Diary it's kind of like my splatter paintings, as it were, where those albums are all just screenshots of a day at a time or whatever. So it's just it doesn't really have a theme besides what's going on in my head at any given time. I think I have on my bio that I consider it like my imagination's mixtapes.
Awesome. And how would you guys describe the Chicago scene?
Amazing. Definitely a lot better than it used to be. We've been doing this for an embarrassing amount of years that we don't want to erase. But
25.
Yeah, we've had it for 25 years. I mean, I guess literally if that was my first memory. But it got a lot better after the pandemic. I don't know if that was live music as a whole, or if that was just we found the right people. But when we did find the right people, it all started clicking, and I think it finally started becoming the dream we had envisioned. You know, we're like, before the pandemic, playing show. I honestly didn't like playing shows because everybody just had a chip on their shoulder. Everybody was kind of, I don't know. I just feel like there was less camaraderie before, where I think everybody was kind of out for a specific goal that didn't line up with each other's. Then the pandemic happened, and then when everybody came back, we were all just trying to have fun. It wasn't really about like, I don't feel like people were trying to one-up each other anymore. It's just us doing what we love and supporting each other. I think it's, you know, we've been a part of, I guess you could, like, micro scenes, but this is the best group of people we've ever been around, for sure.
Awesome. That's nice to hear. And this is a really deep one. What was life like growing up?
Confusing. Definitely confusing.
Confusing's a good way to put it. I assume you want a little more than that. I guess to like give you a quick synopsis, because I think I would have to pay you therapist fees if I went on about my childhood. But to put it simply, confusing's good. I was definitely like different from my brothers and everybody in the neighborhood. Not in like a, oh, I'm so special way, just in like a, I did not like, I was the weird kid basically for most of my life, and then I found ways of like masking that, and And I think I'm at this point, now I'm 25, and now I just don't care anymore. So I'm back to just being, I think, the freak kid that I always was, that in my teen years I kind of got good at hiding, but now I'm kind of, what you see is what you get. But, so to give you a runaround answer, yeah, confusing, but good. I had a good childhood, despite being, like, quirky. I wouldn't trade it for the world, you know. Growing up, I wanted so bad to be normal, but now I'm like, I want to be anything but normal. And so I'm proud of those quirks that I developed as a kid.
Good?
Anything to add there?
Confusing.
Confusing?
Alright, this one's called Vein Tag, if I can remember how to play it.
Flowers on my nose just to smell the nostalgia. Streams of blue and thought I'd be of good memories. And it occurs to me that no one left with the upstairs. They tag, they blue maps, they tag, yeah. Don't think that old movie could get much better. All of these thoughts of me, Sarita Heather. I belong with the pictures of that hair. Start thinking I wish that I would have died there. Of me at night, keep me awake like fireflies. The sympathetic old symphonies at night lead me to the bridge, lead me to the bridge, lead me to the bridge.
Any news on future projects?
Yeah, I mean, we're making some big band choices, right? I love that. I love that shot right there. You'll never know what he said.
Now I bet you're just whispering gibberish.
This interview is over. This Tuesday, well, by the time this comes out, it'll already be out, but remaster Vein Tag and Between the Worlds will be out by the time this airs for sure, so go stream that.
Collin remixed them and made them sound a lot better. They sound much more like we envisioned the songs, and they actually give it justice, so if you stream that, it'll sound better in your car than the first version.
Yeah, and the guy who mixed it the first time is an amazing mixer. I can't recommend him enough, but we just
were really bad.
We were just struggling to get
what he had, you know?
right, because he was going from the book, which is what you should do.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let me just like...
We really needed just a real bonehead to mix it.
Yeah, well, speaking of bonehead, like, a big part of what made one of my favorite bands, Oasis, blow up was the fact that they couldn't get a good mix on their albums. Yeah, Bonehead is the guitar player, that was where that came in. But they couldn't get a good mix on their original demos because they were having, like, real producers step in and do it. And what finally clicked for them was they just had their buddy who had been seeing them live do it for them. So I guess that's the long-winded way of saying, starting to realize, like, if you want something done right, do it yourself. I mean, I think we're just a little kind of control freaky where, like, sitting with somebody, having them mix it, it's like I'm trying to ask to do a certain thing. I'm like, you might as well just do it yourself. But anyway, back to your question. So future stuff, yeah, Annie's Takeout. We definitely got Sugar Cookies and Uh-Oh coming out, but as I mentioned earlier, we have that side project, the Darcy Problems.
And speaking of doing it yourself, the Darcy Problems, we do everything ourselves. And it's cool. It's a different side of it. This new album is, I think for me at least, one of the most proudest I've been of anything I've made.
Yeah, I think audio-wise it might be the best thing. We're most creative thing.
So we pretty much take it 50-50, where half of the album is his production, half of the album is my production. I think I play bass on everything and you sing on everything, and those are the only constants. Everything else is we switch off 50-50. We went up to his dad's lake house last summer and we just like wrote and recorded an album and canoed on the lake, and I got drunk at 9 a.m. and I would record things and then take a big nap, and then I'd wake up and record again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
I was saying for a while, I'm like, oh, that was the best 2 weeks of my life. Because it was just, we were just and that's what I like about Darcy too, is, with Annie's Takeout, we have to take into consideration we're two people, and when we're on stage,
we have to do it live.
Right, yeah. So with Darcy Problems, there's no deadline or goal to play live. It's more just for the audio experience. So we can really dive in and make some weird soundscapes. And I think when you hear this album, you'll be surprised at how different it is from the typical Annie stuff, and even different it is from the first Darcy Problems record, because we've honed in on the sound better. We know how to use Logic better, which is the DAW we operate from. We're just bigger and better. And this album is, I think, this would be our first foray into a concept album. So it's a 10-track album, and it tells the story of that takes place in this sort of mythical universe that we've created for a lot of our arts, which is, again, where the Annie's Takeout name comes from. It's a place in that fantasy world, as it were. So that was probably, besides the Sugar Cookies Uh-Oh, which you guys have been hearing live, that's coming out soon. We'll probably drop some more Annie's singles soon, but this Darcy Problems record we're excited about for sure.
One question on future things. Bedside Ache.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because that song might be dying now, because
we don't have any plans to record that.
Right. That song was written as the closer to an album that we wrote. Recently, within the past few months, I wrote an album for Annie's Takeout, a 10-song album, that was, this one was kind of also a loose concept album, I guess. But the thing is that I'm writing so frequently, and luckily, very luckily for me, I feel like everything, each time I write, it's a little better than the last time. So unfortunately, a lot of these songs just get left in the tread, they just get forgotten about. We had this one song, Opening Fall, which is what we would open every show with for the past maybe 3 years, and we just recently stopped opening with it. And we'll probably not get around to recording it, because by the time
we'll get around.
But by the time we get in the studio, we're gonna have better songs anyway. So who knows? Some of those songs are just gonna be those rarities. But yeah, I really do like Bedside Ache. So hopefully we can get that recorded. But it was originally gonna be the closer to our first album. But at this point, that album's probably scrapped. You'll hear it in the demos in 20 years.
The main thing is that for the future is that Annie's Takeout is fucking around hard right now.
Yeah.
We're fucking around with a lot of different shit. A lot of shit you wouldn't expect. We have a real life chimpanzee coming in, and he's playing hand drums. We have a cat that sometimes does backup screams. They're just unreliable. We have big fur coats that we're gonna wear on stage, real fur. It doesn't really matter, real fur, and we also have some circus acts that are going to be on stage with us. That and every set for a random song, we're going to switch instruments. Collin can't play the drums, and I don't really sing too well, but we're going to just switch for a random song.
We'll figure it out.
So, yeah, it'll be crazy the next time you see us.
Uh-oh.
Kinda cute girl paintings in my daydreams. How basic, come save me. I'm halfway baked into the nature of humans parading, and I can't turn it off. Don't even try because I've heard it all. I can't turn it off. How basic, come save me, come save me. Just a very vivid dream where I lose all control. And if you notice, cold, my ghost is very shy. Uh-oh. 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 Kinda cute girl paintings in my daydreams. How basic, come save me. And I'm halfway baked into the nature of humans parading, and I can't turn it off. Don't even try because I've heard it all. I can't turn it off. How basic, come save me, come save me.
That'd be so funny. And then we're gonna.
Yeah, I just do like okay. When I do this, it means wrap up.
Okay, word.
All right. Colin, you're gonna like this question. Should lip rings make a comeback?
They went away? Wait, have I been out of fashion?
No, they should.
You have to keep in mind you were like a MySpace emo.
Yeah, I'm an old man. Cut that out. Yeah, Definitely. I'm trying to get another one.
Snake bites or spider bites?
No,
Spider bites?
Just neighbors. Yes, I call it the Christopher Drew. I don't know.
The Christopher Drew.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember
Snake
like
bites
Brian
should
Starr's
never
Christopher Drew? Like,
Yeah.
yup, made him cry.
Yeah, I'm Team Chris on that though.
Oh yeah.
I'm Team Chris on everything. I love Never Shout Never.
I think everyone should get tongue rings and belly button rings too.
Yeah.
Tongue rings scare me.
Me too, but I think we need to face our fears as a society.
But yeah, I agree. What 2000s trend do you wish never died? For me, I'm gonna say like MySpace emo.
Yeah.
I want that to come back.
That's such a good question because I love like 2000s stuff. So I guess probably because I grew up there, but
Like my mom
Where?
was on MySpace.
Still.
She was on
Oh.
MySpace, like when it was like
Yeah, when it was popping.
Warp tour.
Warp Tour. Fucking love Warp Tour.
Warp Tour was great, but it was kind of like
CD.
but like kind of bad economically for the bands because why would you go see?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like why would you pay to?
The
I read
tickets
that
were-
on the internet.
the-
That's
yeah.
not my own opinion.
Like the tickets were like $35 per person,
Right, so
and you,
then
like
you
your
can-
parent gets to go free.
So why would you go see why would you go see Issues in July when you can see them in June with Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, and all these other people for like half the price of one? You know what I mean? I just saw that on the internet that somebody was saying that it's not good for the scene. What was the question? Oh, the 2000 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting Warped Tour back up, by the way. We're funding it out of our own pocket.
I would like flip phones to come back in the way that we would just like hopefully like.
You get mad at someone and you just hang up by flipping the phone.
Definitely. I was more thinking in the sense that like hopefully if like flip phones came back, oh it's so vintage. Flip phones don't have like social media, so I think it would be maybe like scale back on the like the.
I think that's the thing I'd be most nostalgic about is just less internet.
Right. Yeah.
Less
Like if we could reverse the whole.
Less encroaching.
Yeah.
And intrusion.
Yeah, encroachment is the source of all of the world's problems.
What bands from the Chicago scene do you recommend to someone who has never heard of the Chicago scene?
Annie's Takeout.
This is just like this is one of those things that when you ask a question like this, my brain just.
You know what would be cool? Let's trade off.
Alright.
Nora Marks.
We were invited.
Cut your losses.
Diet Light.
Pink Squeeze.
Scarlett D'Amour.
That's it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm thinking of a big one right now.
Yeah, me too. I got it too.
All right. Well, now I'm seeming like a bad fundamental kink.
Totally Cash.
I was just about to say Totally Cash.
Division Point.
Background character.
Super kick.
Fuck, I'm running out of.
It's when you're on the spot.
Life Looks Good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, no more then.
I've got another one in the heater.
I mean, they're not active right now of a family vacation.
Calico Loco.
Shit, yeah, that's a good one.
One more.
Torch the Hive.
That's a good way to end it. There's some of our oldest homies. They're
right,
awesome.
yeah.
They're sick.
This one's TV Blue.
Take me back to your. I need something more than old cartoons. You seem rather sad and rather disappointed. And I mean, I guess I should have people notice. And if we never leave on somewhere we haven't been before, up to you I leave. If you wanna stick around another episode more. And I can't believe I lost myself. Can't believe that it seems to be what they wanted. And I can't see my faded health. What about our lives to you seem so uncharted? What am I
What band do you guys wish to play with one day?
How big are we talking? Like,
As big as you want. They can be a little Chicago band, or they can be like fucking
I wanna play with
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
If yeah,
Is that? Can we?
if we're talking like medium scale, I'd love to play with Joyce Manor. But if I'm like capturing all of my dreams, fuck.
Matchbox 20.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, I feel like I don't want to just keep harping on how fucking good Fall Out Boy is, but Fall Out Boy would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be like if we were like, again, if this is like our fantasies running wild, if we like co-headlined with Fall Out Boy, that would be fucking nuts. Because I think that's probably the one band between us both and Nirvana, but we can't do that. That is like that we're the most connected on. Where we see we're both just obsessed with Fall Out Boy. So I think that would probably be like the biggest one. I'm trying to think.
I'm
of
gonna
like
take it
something
small
crazy.
scale, or not small scale. I'm gonna take it smaller than Fall Out Boy and say I'd love to open for like Sincere Engineer or something like that because they're from the area and I've loved their music for like years. So I think it'd be cool to open up with something like Hometown like that. I think that'd be really sick.
nice, nice. And for my last question, it's another deep one.
All right.
What would you like to say to your younger self?
Oh man.
Yeah, this is one that gets people.
Well, it depends on like how like real you want me to get right here.
As real as you can be.
I'm gonna be alright. I'm gonna be. Fuck. I want to be real, but also vague. But I feel like that's such like a douchey way to answer a question. So let me think of like a real good answer for you. Okay, I'd probably say practice more and sooner. Like get on your shit earlier. I'm 25 and we're like finally in a good place. But I had so many mental things going wrong in my life when I was younger, and you still fight with that every day. But it really crippled me when I was like probably 18 to 24. So I guess I would probably tell him to get his shit in check. But if I was like giving him a positive message, I would just tell him that big thing that you're insecure about, nobody notices, nobody cares, and you'll grow to love yourself, which is probably something that I don't think a younger version of me would believe was possible.
I think I would say that everything that I was thinking and wanting is gonna happen, so I should just chill out. Also, never smoke weed.
Yeah, look at me now.
Don't start smoking weed. Never.
I haven't slept in 2 days.
The gateway.
The gateway.
Oh my god.